Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are MC.
Royals baseball comes to you tonight from beautiful Baltimore, Maryland. And after a tough 4 days in Cleveland, the Royals begin a 3-game series at Camden Yards tonight. Royals baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. On this road trip, the Royals go from playing a good team, which they've really struggled against, to a good team they've played very well against.
Yes, and what the Royals can do now is they can just let the past go. Forget those about Cleveland, anything in the past. Look today, focus today, and attack those birds.
The Royals have already taken a series from Baltimore at Kauffman Stadium. They took 2 out of 3 back in April. And if you include the 2014 American League Championship Series, the Royals have won 12 of the last 16.
And we've seen it all, and it hasn't been that long since we've seen all 3 areas, the hitting, the pitching, and the defense. But they're really going to have to tighten up that defense, make sure they don't give the birds any extra runners, because they got some big bats that really can hurt them.
And the Orioles can do a few things to beat you, but at the very top of the list against the Orioles, you need to keep the ball in the ballpark, especially here. Let's take a look at our Kubota power stats for tonight and where the Orioles rank in the power categories.
You know, you talked about 14 when these two matched up in the postseason, and it was almost similar then. A lot of power. Royals had more speed and more defense. So it's going to be a similar situation here. Can Danny Duffy stay underneath those bats tonight? That'll be the big question with that power 98 fastball.
And the Orioles will counter with right-hander Mike Wright, and the Royals hope to get the bats going against him. He'll carry a 5.88 earned run average into the game tonight. And before the Cleveland series, remember the Royals were averaging 7 runs per game over a 9-game stretch. We'll see what happens tonight. You buy the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers, visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. Beautiful night. Temperatures near 90 earlier today. It has cooled down to 85. Very comfortable as the Royals begin a 3-game series with the Orioles. And this place is always going to bring back good memories. When the Royals swept the Orioles in the 2014 American League Championship Series, they won the first 2 games here and then the next 2 at Kauffman Stadium. It's an important series for both teams. Baltimore's playing well. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're in a first-place tie with Boston in the East. The Royals have struggled. They've lost 4 straight, and they're now a game and a half back of the Indians. So it'll be Mike Wright who will make the start for the Orioles. And like a lot of pitchers do, Hud, when they first come onto the scene, they'll have some success, and then the league figures out what their strengths and weaknesses are. And Mike Wright's had a bad time in his last 16 starts.
Sure has. He was on the verge of being sent out, but because of an injury to one of their relievers, they put him right back up in there and put him on that launching pad here, what the Royals hope. He's got a fastball, slider, changeup, 3-pitch mix. He'll mix an occasional curve, but not very often. He throws hard. He's in the mid-90s. Hopefully the Royals can get on him and get him early. Defensively, the Birds behind him, they're a good fielding team. Machado's moved over from third base to shortstop. J.J. Hardy's injured and he's out, so they're letting him play. Weeder's behind the plate, fine catch and throw guy. He's done pretty well this year. Davis left to right, Reimold, Jones, and Rickard.
And here's the lineup to face Mike Wright. Well, you can chalk it up to the Royals going cold offensively or running into the Cleveland Indians starting rotation, which might be the best in the American League. Either way, the Royals average just 1.5 runs per game in that 4-game series. Salvador Perez will be the designated hitter, and he'll bat 5th, so Drew Butera will be back at the plate. Kendrys Morales is not in the lineup tonight. Royals have already seen Mike Wright, and back on April the 24th, the Royals scored 5 runs against him in 6 1/3 innings. Royals hit a couple of home runs in that game. Alex Gordon and Eric Hosmer took Mike Wright deep. Now Cetus Escobar takes a sinking fastball for a strike.
Yep, he likes to sink. That's a 2-seamer. He'll use that pitch. And then slider and changeup. Mentioned him before. He'll give you something good to hit.
Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Escobar was just 2 out of 16 in the Cleveland series without a run scored. Down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Mike Wright at 6'6", 230, sometimes has a hard time repeating his delivery, so he can be effectively wild at times. And the Royals want to get him, and he gets in that strike zone with that fastball.
Escobar makes contact. Jonathan Scope goes to the middle and throws him out. And now Whit Merrifield. He played in 3 of the 4 Cleveland games and was just 2 for 11, but he still hit safely in 13 of his 14 starts.
Merrifield doing a nice job of using the whole field, mainly center and right.
He has reached safely in each of his 14 starts, and that's what you want from a hitter in the number 2 spot. Get on base for the bigger bats, and he's going to drive that into the left field corner. Reimold plays the carom, but no chance for an out at second base. Whit Merrifield has a 1-out double.
How about the Royals fans turning out here at Camden Yards? Nice to hear them and see them get up on their feet after Merrifield just laces this double. That ball's 3 inches on the inner half, pulled his hands in and just stayed on top. That'll work.
So he's reached safely in 15 consecutive games, and now one shy of Johnny Damon's record of 16 when Johnny was called up in 1995. Merrifield in the game on Saturday against Josh Tomlin took off early. Tomlin didn't pick it up, and he stole second base. He was halfway to second base before Tomlin delivered the pitch, and he almost pulled it off against Mike Wright. I think he figured it was too good to be true, and he stopped. But if he kept going, he would have swiped third.
Locane 2 for 6 in his career off a right, and both of those hits have left the yard.
Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
Being a little careful with Lorenzo Cain, Ernie. Doesn't want to leave a mistake out over the plate. Once you've been bit by the dog, you remember that bite. .270 is the batting average the Royals have on the season with runners in scoring position. Although in Cleveland they had a hard time, just 3 for 25. 125 average.
And now 3-0 on Cain with Hosmer on deck. So what do you do here, Hud? A team that's struggling to score runs, do you go for the base runner or do you go for the big hit right here?
I'm going for the 3-run or the 2-run homer. I'd like a 3-run, but there's only one guy on.
That'd be the first time in Major League history, I think.
Turn him loose. He's got a couple of homers. Why not?
Took a hack at it.
Good spot, though. He put that ball down and away on the outside part of the plate. It was a smart pitch there, 3-0. Didn't just let Cookie in the middle.
Scope makes a move, and Merrifield is back in time.
So Lorenzo went back to the rosin bag. Get a little bit better grip. Hosmer threw it to him, said he wanted a little bit of rosin.
Inside for ball 4. First and second with 1 out to Eric Hosmer.
Okay, now let's see if Haas can give Duffy a 3-run lead. 2 for 4 with 1 homer in his career off a right. Haas hitting .298 with the runners second and beyond. We'll show you that home run he hit against him. A little flashback at the K. Ooh, it's a little slider look like just laid out over the middle. Hook the pole. We haven't seen Haas hook one down there yet this year. Most of his homers are all going straight away.
How many weeks of Goldberg's laundry on that line drive?
At least one. That's a topspin on it.
The Royals yesterday could do very little against Corey Kluber, and yet in the first inning they had runners at first and second with 1 out. They had a scoring opportunity against Kluber, and they've done quite well against Corey Kluber in his career against the Royals. Now, different pitcher, Mike Wright. He's a struggling pitcher so far this year, but here we are, scoring opportunity, first inning, first and second and 1 out. Yesterday Kluber got Salvador Perez to ground into a double play. Popped up. Yanish out into shallow left field to make the play. Giannis is at third. J.J. Hardy's out with a broken foot. So Manny Machado is playing shortstop.
And Wright beat him with an inside fastball.
Salvador Perez as the designated hitter tonight. He played Saturday and yesterday behind the plate after missing 6 games following the collision with Cheslor Cuthbert during the last homestand.
Salvi 0 for 1 in his career
against Wright.
Against Wright.
So Salvi is the designated hitter, and Kendrys Morales is out of the lineup. Taking all the way and looks at a fastball at 94. Salvi's hit safely in 13 of those last 15 games. And after missing 6 games, he was back in the lineup Saturday and promptly got 2 hits. Backhand stop by Wieters.
Wieters, he's had a good job this year, done a good job with the throwing percentage and throwing runners out this season so far. He's at 31%. But you know, he had Tommy John on his elbow. They don't like to start him against Ubaldo Jimenez because the guys run on him. Teams run all over him, so they don't want him throwing all that much. But so far, he's got a pretty good mark this season.
He was starting to pile up the gold gloves at catcher in the American League until Salvador Perez came along.
It was. It's a nice backhand pickup.
Jones into left center field and makes a play. So Wright gets out of it. The Royals had 2 on with 1 out, and Wright gets a pop up and a fly out. Danny Duffy in the bottom of the first inning, and Adam Jones is leading off. He's having a tough year, hitting just .236, but 50 points better than that since Buck Showalter put him in the leadoff spot. There's only one left-hand batter in there tonight against Danny Duffy, and that is Chris Davis. The Royals have won all 4 of Danny Duffy's starts, and no walks in his last 3 starts. In fact, he has not walked a batter in his last 15 2/3 innings.
How about that? Command used to never be a part of his vocabulary at all. Doing a nice job with that power fastball, 95 to 98, slurvy breaking ball, and a changeup. There's his pitch. He's in 72.5%. That's good because he's got a power fastball. Opponents aren't doing anything off of his changeup. Mainly righties.
And I wonder how much of that has to do, not necessarily because his changeup's better, but because he's throwing his fastball as much as he is.
It has a lot to do with it. But the location of that pitch has been good. It's always been down and away to the lefties. He's not making any mistakes over the middle with it.
Here's the change and a 3-pitch strikeout against Adam Jones.
Yep, that little bit of change of speed can throw off the timing of the hitter in a heartbeat.
And now Joey Rickard. Rickard was red hot when the Orioles visited Kansas City back in April. And then he went 1 for 12 in the 3-game series. First year in the big leagues. He is a Rule 5 pick. Drafted from another organization. Kane waits for it in center field. Rickard is out of the Rays organization, so he needs to stay in the big leagues all year for the Orioles to hang on to him.
Yep, nice young man. Got to talk to him before the game. The Fort Royals defense. We have highlighted Lorenzo Cain. Leads all major league center fielders with 147 putouts. Anything that hangs in the air very long, he can track it down. Where's Whitley? He's at second base tonight. Already got some dirt on his uni.
How about it?
Gotta love that. He's a baseball player.
Manny Machado jumps on a first pitch fastball and fouls it back.
Machado 0 for 8 in his career against Danny Duffy, but he is hitting .304 with 1 homer out of his 14 from the right side here off a lefty. But he has the best average against the left-handed pitcher. Overall, the team, Orioles, is hitting .221 against southpaws this year. 14 homers. 100 strikeouts and 430 at bats. So there's a lot of swing and misses from the powerful birds.
Down 1 ball 2 strikes. Eight pitches from Danny Duffy. He has 2 outs and he's 1 and 2 on the 3rd hitter. So far the Royals love this version of Danny Duffy.
They sure do.
Great spot. A 9-pitch, 2 strikeout, 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the 1st. There's Dad. He took batting practice earlier today.
Ooh, man, that's changeup's working, and so does this one. And Machado, you got to go.
Golden Oak lending keys to the game?
I think we should. Tough Duff. That's right. Duffy's thrown 71.8% of his pitches for strikes since joining the rotation on May 15th. Steady as she goes, like that first inning. Get the line moving. It's not keep the line moving, because the line hadn't been moving. So get him going again. Bunch some hits together off of right. And give Duffy a little lead and some breathing room, please.
Oh, Paulo Orlando hits a shot right by Mike Wright. Leadoff man on in the top of the second inning.
Watch out. That's the Paulo Orlando that we want to see. Early count swinging, attacking that ball. That's a chuck and ducker.
Well, and we thought toward the end of his hitting streak and in the Cleveland series that he was over swinging a little bit. That was a nice, easy swing.
Sweet swing. He looked a lot better today. He was more confident. I saw him in the hallways going from the batting cage, and he had a big smile on his face. Stopped and we talked for a little bit. He wasn't tight. He was loose.
Ball one to Chesler Cuthbert. Chesler had 4 hits in the Cleveland series, including his second home run of the year. And he takes a shot at the opposite field, and that is foul. 1-1.
Too bad. Paulo would have scored on that. He was flying around them bases.
Two balls and 1 strike. Big guy, 6'6", Mike Wright. It takes a while for him to get that body unraveled when he's pitching. This could be the type of guy the Royals can run on. And now down and away, 3 balls and 1 strike.
By the way, in case you were wondering, the hit speed off of Orlando's base hit there was 97.6 miles per hour. So that ball is coming back at the pitcher at a high rate of speed. Short. Watch how short his swing is here. Oh.
Chesler into right center field. A little hesitation out there by Rickard, and he's able to make the play. Royals and the Orioles are completely different offensively, but on the mound they have a lot of similarities. Take a look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Royals and Orioles toward the bottom of the league when it comes to starters ERA, but when it comes to bullpen ERA, they're the top 2 in the major leagues. The Orioles rotation more recently, however, has really struggled. Over the last 2 weeks, the starters ERA is about 6.4, and the man on the mound right now, Mike Wright, has an ERA just under 6.
It goes to show you what a good bullpen can do for you in this day and age. Starters aren't good. Well, if you can somehow get it to the back end of that pen, you're going to have success. Both teams at the top of their division. Kansas City just a game and a half out, but the Birds are tied with Boston coming into the night.
Gerard Dyson, that last category right there, 339 on base percentage. He's been piling up the walks lately.
He's been selective. You know, playing more regular, getting more regular at bats, that'll do it. He's seeing more pitches, he's being more comfortable, and he's conscious of them trying to get that high fastball by him, so they want him to pop the ball up and not use his speed and hit it on the ground.
Not bunting as much as you and I would like to see him, but far fewer infield pop-ups and flyouts. Machado runs to the bag, throws, and that's a double play. So Mike Wright gives up a leadoff single, but only faces 3 in the second inning.
Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout, and we have seen Danny Duffy for the first time in his career go 3 straight starts without walking a batter. Talking to his catcher Drew Butera today about the biggest difference, and he said that while most guys go from the bullpen to the rotation and try to pace themselves, Danny not pacing has been a good thing. Just go out there, do what you did in the bullpen. He felt that that was the best thing that happened for him, because instead of trying to play to the hitter's weaknesses, it made him focus on just pitching to his strengths. He said, let the catcher do the thinking for you. Just go out there and pitch to your strengths. So far, so good for Danny Duffy.
Well, you got that right, Joel. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mark Trumbo. And to add to that, you and I were talking to Dave Island before the game, and I like the way Dave Island worded what Joel just described. He said, just win this inning. Don't worry about pacing yourself. Don't worry about how much gas you're going to have in the tank. That was off the end of the bat, so Kane will make the play in left center field. Don't worry about setting up a hitter this time around so that when you face him the second or third time, or pacing yourself for the later innings, just win this inning.
It's a great thought process, and let Drew do all that work, all that thinking. Duffy, with his talent he's got, he could go far with it, especially with the command that he's been showing.
Here's the only left-hand batter in the lineup for the Orioles, and Chris Davis takes a strike. Our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda, and the 3 big bats in the Orioles lineup have a combined 2 hits in 31 at bats. 94 right by Chris Davis, and 15 strikeouts.
Oh, man.
He certainly didn't mean to do that.
And didn't want to do that. He's got away from it.
And Wieters, see where it got him. Did it get him?
Davis
got him in the back, or Davis, excuse me. But he had that pad on his elbow, which he could probably deflect around from a deer rifle with that.
Yep. Got him in the hood of the Cobra. That's the latissimus dorsi. That's a muscle. That's a big muscle in the back. Best place to get hit, there or in the wallet. And for a lot of these players, the wallet's the best place to get hit.
Very high on the right side of the infield. Merrifield makes the play. The Wieters is out, 2 down. You know, even though Duffy didn't want to hit Chris Davis, and he gives him a base runner and loses his perfect game, by the way. I like his thinking. Fastball up and in on a maybe the best left-handed slugger in the major leagues.
Yep, I agree. Davis hitting just a .182 with 2 of his 11 homers against lefties, so that's a little something to think about going into your next at bat.
Here's Nolan Reimold.
Wonder if he was named after Nolan Ryan.
I think you should go ask him that.
I think I will. Just thinking about his name right there, and it's almost Ryan. It's Reimold. He's been around the Orioles organization for several years. They're hanging on to him. Plays a good outfield. Got a little pop in his bat.
And when you talk to the Orioles about Nolan Reimold, one of the first things that will come up is how hard he plays. Runs hard at the line every time. He has come back from not 1 but 2 different neck surgeries. Reimold got his first big league hit and his first big league 2 home run game against the Royals. Changeup, and boy, he was way out in front. 3 strikeouts for Danny Duffy in 2 scoreless innings.
Pull the string, it works every time after that good heater.
Retired numbers of the Baltimore Orioles. And right there, a man who was drafted after Rex Hudler, Cal Ripken Jr.
Can you believe it? What a mistake the Yankees made.
Drew Butera leads off, and Machado takes care of Butera. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mike Wright. Speaking of the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. Actually, that was the original nickname for the man he passed in games, Lou Gehrig. Our Toyota League leaders, both the Orioles and the Royals, have a player that's played in every single inning this year. Alcides Escobar and Jonathan Scope, who's the Orioles' second baseman. Esky grounded out to second in the first inning. We had a chance to take some batting practice and shag with the fathers earlier today, and biggest thrill for me, to be honest, was being in the outfield with you when the dads were hitting, and you reenacted that play that you made on Cal Ripken Jr. when he played in his 2,131st game. You were the second baseman for the Angels. Is that Fizz?
Hey, what's Fizz
Is he
doing?
working?
What the heck?
We working tonight or what?
Look at Fizz. Let's go.
Giannis. Wide throw. Long stretch for Davis. And there are two down. Steve Stewart just grinding it out on radio all by himself.
And Fizz is looking and shaking hands. It's
Yeah.
like he's running for office.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's just glad handing everybody.
Passing out his business card while he's down there.
Look at him. And let me go down there and hang out with Fizz. We'll just say hi to everybody. Look at him. Fizz is making his rounds.
Pretty soon that phone in his right hand is going to start buzzing.
Is his phone in his hand? I didn't see.
Right. Oh man. Steve Stewart up there just all by himself, grinding away with producer engineer Don Free. Oh, who's that?
Oh, that's
knows
Bart.
everybody.
Oh, that's his brother Bart.
Oh, okay, so that's his
Yeah.
sister-in-law.
There you go.
All right. Mike Wright. There's a reaction like he may have tweaked something. You see what I saw?
I did. Looked like he recoiled and froze for a moment.
Merrifield doubled his first time up. 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. Royals got a double from Merrifield and a walk from Kane in the first inning. Wright was able to get out of that. And then Paulo Orlando led off the second inning with a single. 2 batters later, Mike Wright got an inning-ending double play.
Right here, take him deep.
Oh, he had the swing.
3 and 1. That's the one. He'd look for it. And you know, you can go deep here pretty much anywhere if you're a right-handed hitter, except for right field. They got a very tall wall out there. But the ball down the left field line with short fence here, ball flies out.
Still 3 and 2. Witt's double in the first inning means that he has reached safely in all 15 of his major league starts. He's got a chance to tie the Royals record tomorrow. Shallow center field. Adam Jones wants it, and Mike Wright has his first 1-2-3 inning. hits in the first 2 innings against Danny Duffy, and that was a hit batter. And Duffy will get the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the bottom of the 3rd. Beginning with Jonathan Schoop. This is just pitch number 21 and a changeup to Schoop. So the Royals figured that Schoop was looking first pitch fastball, and they were right. Schoop is on to begin the bottom of the 3rd. That's the Orioles' first hit.
So after the first pitch was a changeup, and when you know a guy's throwing a fastball 72% of the time, he was waiting for that one. He knew a fastball was coming, and it was up for him to get the bat on, and he wrapped around it. Look at how big Schoop is, standing next to Eric Hosmer. Big second baseman. I saw him up at the batting cage today, and I went, man, you look at him. Look at him. He's a big second baseman.
Paul Janisch. He's going to bunt. It's a good bunt. And Duffy did the right thing. There was some indecision as to whether Duffy or Butera would pick up the ball, but Duffy did the right thing by not trying to force a play at first.
Yeah, maybe the Danny Duffy in his younger days might have threw that ball down the line or tried to get the out. But, you know, being left-handed coming towards the line like that, it was a tough move for him. This is Butera's play all the way if he had a chance. And Drew might have just wanted to call him off, but he wouldn't have been able to make the play. Perfect bunt by Janisch. He pushed it far enough away where Butera, the right-handed catcher, couldn't throw him out. But Duffy had a hard time with it on the left-hand side.
So Janisch gets a bunt base hit, and now Adam Jones with 2 on, nobody out. He bunts. And Duffy will throw him out. I would imagine they're going to call that a sacrifice. If it is, it's the first for Adam Jones this year. And then it begs the question, when was the last time Adam Jones had a sacrifice bunt? He is typically a middle of the order hitter and a struggling hitter. Buck Showalter put him in the leadoff spot just to try and get his bat going.
That's the third sacrifice for him this year.
So runners at second and third, 1 out for Joey Rickard. Good spot, fastball of the outside corner. Rickard flied to center field in the first inning. And Duffy has the advantage, 0-2. Adam Jones' last sacrifice bunt was 5 years ago. And that season he had 1.
Huh. The stat that I was reading was SF sacrifice fly. So that is his first bunt of the year, his first sac bunt, move him over. That was good. You know, I would expect him to do that. Now, I bet Showalter would have liked him to swing the bat, though. Especially when they're starting to get something going.
But you also defer to the player. Jones is not swinging the bat well. He wants to do something to help the team. He does not have good numbers against Danny Duffy. He is 1 for 14 against Duffy with 8 strikeouts, so that maybe was the best option for him. Duffy gets a big strikeout on a changeup.
Man, it looked like some of these swings we're seeing in his changeup is like they got a 5-pound weight at the end of their bat. Watch it. Yeah, have him out front. That's the pitch there. And that's way off the plate, far enough off to where he couldn't make any kind of contact.
4 strikeouts for Danny Duffy so far, and 3 of the 4 have been with his changeup. So he's really got the Orioles thinking fastball, as they should. And it brings up Manny Machado. He had the 1 strikeout on a fastball, and that was looking in the first inning. Scope is at third. Yanish is at second. Changeup down and away, ball 1.
Yep, I agree with Butera. Butera put his glove up, good shot. That's exactly where we want it. If you're going to miss down and off the plate.
Up and out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had a bad time against Danny Duffy.
That's right. And I think you're correct with the assessment of Adam Jones. He said, you know what? I'm going to try a back-to-back bunt here. But maybe it doesn't work. Hopefully not. Duffy can sneak it by Machado here.
Goes with the slide step. Danny will do that from time to time. Normally when we're talking slide step, it's with a runner at first base and you're trying to prevent him from getting a good jump, but Danny will use that to throw off the hitter's timing.
It's smart.
Three and 1. Mark Trumbo is on deck. Changeup on 3 and 1. Boy, try and figure out what Danny Duffy's going to do tonight.
Well, man, I'm going to tell you that to have confidence to throw that pitch in that situation and perfectly execute it is special.
So if you're Machado, what are you thinking right now?
If he threw it 3-1, he's going to throw it 3-2. That's what he's saying. So maybe he's going to look for that, but I think this is good here. Butera wants to talk it through with Duffy. High fastball or maybe a low changeup could work.
Mark Trumbo waits on deck. Trumbo leads the Orioles with 18 home runs. It's also the major league lead, tied with Todd Frazier and Nolan Arenado. So this is a big pitch right here. Stay away from Trumbo with men on base. Fastball got him swinging. So Danny Duffy with runners at second and third and 1 out gets back-to-back strikeouts, and the Orioles are scoreless.
Go ahead, Duff. Be tough.
the state of Kansas, especially in Lawrence. Mark Turgeon, who's the head basketball coach at Maryland, point guard for the Jayhawks from '83 to '87, and part of the coaching staff in '88 that won the national championship out of Hayden High School in Topeka, and happened to be at Citi Field for Game 5 of the World Series last year. Mike Wright throws a strike to Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo walked in the first inning. Just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2.
Two-seamer came right into Locaine, jammed him some. But so far, Wright is doing a pretty good job staying out of the middle. Last time he threw a pitch over the middle was to Paulo Orlando. Stroked it right back up the middle. They're right in the second time now. 268. His average.
That would be his first strikeout. Time for you to vote for your All-Stars. You can vote up to 35 times for the Royals online, including a maximum of 5 ballots in any 24-hour period. Vote at Royals.com on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. One of the biggest outs so far for Mike Wright was getting Eric Hosmer in the first inning. With 1 out, Merrifield doubled and Cain walked. And Wright was able to get Hosmer to pop out to third base. One and 1.
Wright using mainly two-seam fastballs. Here comes one. It's going to be an off-speed pitch. Change-up. Good to see when he goes in the glove from the center field camera. You can see him go in there. Gets his palm on there. He gets more fingers involved with the change-up. If hitters had that view we have, oh man, would they love that. They can see sometimes through the pitcher's glove how he's gripping it, the way they watch his forearm, they watch his wrist, they see all the kind of movement going on there in their fingers, so they're trying to guess with him a pattern they can pick up in his glove, so it gives them a better idea what could be coming. Ooh.
Base hit left field. Hosmer jumps on a 3-1 fastball. Runner at first with 1 out.
All over the backside of the ball. I'd like to see him get under that just a tick. That would have went over the 364 sign in left center. Perfect liner. Watch how he stays on his backside long. Look at that perfect stride. Look how long those legs are. Dangerous hitter.
Salvador Perez flied out to center field in the first inning. That ended the first inning. Royals at one point had 2 on with 1 out. Over the inside for strike 1. Royals want to make sure that Salvador Perez is right for at least a week with that bruised quad after the collision with Cheslor Cuthbert. So Tony Cruz is still on the roster. The Royals have 3 catchers at the moment as Scope goes out into shallow right field. Salvi caught Saturday and yesterday. Ned Yost wants to keep that bat in the lineup, but give his legs a break. and let Drew Butera catch tonight. Otherwise, if something happened to Drew Butera in the middle of the game, with just two catchers, Salvi could put the gear on, but then the Royals lose the designated hitter. 2 down to Paulo Orlando with Hosmer at first base. Not a very hittable pitch.
Yeah, and you know that was close to his knuckles.
A lot of Royals fans here tonight, and we heard them when Merrifield doubled in the first inning. It really stood out, and then I began to look around Camden Yards and realized this is a very small gathering considering the Orioles are tied for first place. Now school is still in session, so it's a school night, even though Kansas City kids have been out of school for a few weeks now. But a lot of blue mixed in with the black and the orange, especially on the third base and left field side.
They picked the right week. Weather's beautiful. Storms came in through here yesterday, are gone. Nice day. Time to drive one here. Give Duffy a lead. The way Danny Duffy's pitching, they've got to find a way to crack right here. Need a big hit.
Grounded out to Machado. He'll go the short way. And Mike Wright, with an ERA just under 6, begins tonight's game with 4 scoreless innings.
Starts 0-0, but Danny Duffy, man, is he looking good. Changeup has been a nice pitch for him. 3 out of his 5 punch-outs have been perfectly executed. Down and on the outer half of the plate in key situations in that last inning especially. Look at how he can see him over-rotate and use those back 3 fingers, that ball moving away. That's been a sweet pitch for him.
Trumbo takes outside for ball 1. Trumbo led off the second inning and flied out to center field. Had some big home run hitters, and it's a perfect ballpark for home run hitters, especially when you get into the summer months. Hot and humid, the ball flies out of here. It is just 318 to right field and just 364 to left center field. How many home runs would Billy Butler have hit here in his prime with the Royals?
Would have hit a bunch, I know that.
Think about how many doubles Billy hit and how many outs were recorded on the warning track in deep right center and deep left center field.
373 to the opposite field in the gap. That's doable by Billy. And there was a time where the Orioles were interested in acquiring him.
Trumbo somehow got on top of that pitch. So even though it's just a foul ball, that was impressive. Billy, by the way, hit 6 home runs in 32 games in this ballpark. Trumbo, Davis, and Wieters to bat for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 4th.
He's looking fastball all the way.
That hit Duffy. Trumbo's going to get a base hit, and now Duffy
That hurt him.
goes
That hurt
limping
him.
across the third base line.
Anytime that Trumbo hits anybody with a line drive off of his bat, it's going to smart. Hope it didn't hit him on the ankle. We'll have to take another look at it. Ankle's a tough spot. Shin, little better. Oh yeah, on the outer part of the shin. Now there's a little meat on the outside part there. I mean, hit him pretty good too. It deflected to the third baseman, but the hit speed was 97.7 on that. It's tender. It's gonna be tender. Lots of times though, you know, if you get a pitcher favoring his leg, you don't want to have an arm issue or any trouble, but he's going to stay in.
Yeah, the concern, if you're the Royals right now, and Dave Island will be focusing on Danny Duffy's mechanics the rest of this game, because a leg injury can hurt a pitcher's arm. They compensate for some pain in their leg. They change their mechanics. And so Dave Island now is going to be watching Danny Duffy's effectiveness and his mechanics. Make sure he's using the same mechanics he always uses and doesn't change anything with a sore leg. So leadoff man on, and now Chris Davis at the plate. Fastball at 93. Davis was down 0-2. He took a fastball and then he was late on a fastball, and then Duffy drilled him with an 0-2 pitch. Oh, 2.
Let's go back and see the Trumbo swing on the changeup. We just got through talking about how good that pitch has been. Now watch Trumbo. He just didn't try to do too much. He had an idea it might be coming, but he kind of abbreviates his swing and he just uses his hands and meets it perfectly.
3 pitches. And Davis goes down looking. 6 strikeouts for Duffy in 3 1/3 innings. There's Danny's father sitting next to head trainer Nick Kenny's father.
Oh man, that is painting the corner, and Davis, you got to go. That 4-seamer, that super slow motion camera is a beauty.
Change up to Matt Wieters. He popped out to second base in the 2nd inning. Still popping the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Changeup, fastball, changeup to Matt Wieters.
Haven't seen many slurves lately. Don't need them. You know, when you got that kind of fastball, you know, you just need one pitch that's working for you that's going to change the speeds. And for Danny, the changeup's been the pitch to complement the fastball.
Hard hit. Escobar's there. Out at second. Double play. So Duffy still kind of limping off the mound after taking that line drive from Mark Trumbo, but he faces only 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
There you go. Ball hit hard enough.
Joel Goldberg back by the Royals dugout, and Brad Eibner back on the field a little bit today. Unbelievable. Yesterday he was taking balls off the bat of Rusty Kuntz and cutting a little bit, and as we see in our University of Kansas Hospital injury report, Brad Eibner and Ryan and Rex and I were out there after Father's batting practice, and he was hitting the ball all over the place. And while there's still swelling in the ankle, he has it taped up and it's feeling good, no pain there. But as they wait for the swelling to go down, guys, he's wearing a boot when he's not out there on the field just to make sure that that ankle is not overworked. But great progress. Who would have thought he could be doing this already a week ago, to see Brett Eibner out there taking swings?
Not me. That looked like a season ender.
Sure did. And we didndidn't really see him roll his ankle. So to me, it looked like an Achilles tendon, and that would have been devastating.
A season ender.
Yeah.
Couple of breaking balls to Cuthbert. He's down 0-2. Mike Wright has held the Royals to no runs, 3 hits in the first 4 innings. Royals had 2 on with 1 out in the first inning. Wright got out of that. Leadoff man on in the second. And a man on with 1 out in the fourth.
He's doing it mainly with fastballs and sliders and a few changeups. Haven't seen a big curve yet.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
When you have a couple of variations off of that fastball, sometimes that's effective enough. The 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. This 2-seamer has a little bit of sink and run down and in to the righty and away from the lefties.
Still 2-2 on Cuthbert. The last thing the Royals want to do is allow Mike Wright to get comfortable. He's really been struggling lately. ERA 5.88, and when the Royals had 2 on with 1 out, you figure you got him emotionally in the right spot. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Foul tip and a strikeout. That's 2 for Wright. Remember the DVD Blu-ray combo pack Royalty Reigns is a comprehensive look back at the 2015 Royals and details how a champion was built. The combo pack is now available at retail locations throughout Kansas City and at the MLB.com shop. One out. Gerard Dyson at the plate. Changeup fades outside to Dyson. Gerard grounded into a double play to end the second inning. Giannis has enough room, 2 outs. And while we have a moment, here's our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. It's been a hot and cold season so far for the Detroit Tigers. They swept the White Sox over the weekend, so they're back to 500. Tigers got off to a good start, then they slumped badly. And now playing well again. They've been playing very well at home recently, and they begin a series with the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. And the Tigers already have a 6-0 lead. They are 3.5 back of first place Cleveland. Well hit to right field, and Rickard has room to make the play. 5 scoreless innings for Mike Wright. Beautiful Oriole Park at Camden Yards. No score to the bottom of the 5th. Mark Quinn, who is the assistant hitting coach of the Orioles. Mark Quinn had a big league debut you and I will never forget. Here's our sprint trivia question. What was the last team to have 3 different players lead a league in home runs in 3 straight seasons? The last team to have 3 different players lead a league in home runs 3 straight seasons. Now I say it's a game you and I will both never forget because I was broadcasting for the Royals in September of 1999, and that game was against the Angels, whom you were broadcasting for.
It was my first year in the booth, and I'll never forget it. I went down the next day and had to introduce myself to the kid.
And when I was talking to Quinny before the game tonight, he remembered that because he is from Southern California, so his family was watching the game. They were watching the Angels broadcast and said, believe it or not, you were going bananas over a guy hitting 2 home runs.
I'll stay in here.
Kane has room in center field. Reimold is out number 1.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to refresh my memory again on what exactly he did, but he hit a couple of home runs in his first game, right?
Not his first big league at bat, but in his first big league game, he had 2 home runs. And I want to say it was the first time since like Bert Campaneris or something like that. There have been many big leaguers who have hit a home run in their first big league at bat, which he did not do, but very few have hit 2 home runs in their first big league game. And maybe Bert Campaneris was on that list. Fouled back by Jonathan Schoop. I'll bet I have that somewhere in the Big Blue Book of Knowledge, which is now digital. All right. He was only the 4th player in Major League history at the time to hit 2 home runs in his big league debut. No balls and 2 strikes. The next year, Mark Quinn was 3rd for American League Rookie of the Year. Still 0-2 on Jonathan Schoop. He singled to left in the 2nd inning. J.P. Arancibia has since hit 2 home runs in a big league debut. So now Mark Quinn is 1 of 5.
I knew it was special.
One ball and 2 strikes.
That's the first changeup of the night that's missed up and away out of the zone. So you just hope that that shin burger that Trumbo gave Duffy that doesn't tighten up on him.
Now, you've referenced many times before a jam sandwich. So I'm guessing a burger is worse than a sandwich.
Shin burger is what is the term they use in the game that I've heard other pitchers when they got hit by a guy off the shin, they'd come in and go, man, that hurt, that shin burger hurt. So, you know, I just relay terms that I learned for 21 years out there on the field in the dugout, and I think the people need to know the terms. Oh, baby.
Good pitch. 7 strikeouts and another strikeout with a changeup. Schoop doesn't think so. Home plate umpire is Jim Reynolds. 2 down.
Schoop, there's no doubt about that pitch. That was a beauty. You got to go. Look at that. How he holds that ball in the back with 3 fingers like that. Same arm speed as that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Oh, perfect spot.
So does a bruise look like a hamburger? Is that where that term comes from?
I think it does. After it swells up in the next day or two, it kind of looks like a little juicy burger.
Short hop play Escobar. Danny Duffy has 5 scoreless innings. He has allowed just 3 singles and no walks. Wow. through against Oriole right-hander Mike Wright with no score in the 6th inning. Oh, here you go, Hud. Our contestant is Jeremy Redhair from Harrisonville.
Oh, yeah.
The Royals hit a home run in this inning. Jeremy wins $400. If the Royals hit a grand slam, Jeremy wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals.
Oh, let's go for the 25 grand. 3 guys get on the top and let Haas clean them up. It's time they get to right. He's been getting a little comfortable now. Just starting the 3rd time through the order.
He's pitched well, and you brought this up, Hud, after his start on Wednesday. When he got knocked around, he was supposed to be optioned to the minor leagues. Here's what he did against the Royals back in April. 1 run, 4 hits in the first 5 innings, and then the Royals got to him in the later innings. That's a foul ball. He was really hit by the Red Sox on Wednesday. He gave up 4 home runs in 2 2/3 innings, optioned to the minors, but called back when Darren O'Day was placed on the disabled list. Does that remind you of a Royals pitcher last year?
It does. His name was Yordano Ventura.
Yeah, and he was a different man after that, realizing that he got another chance thanks to an injury. And you wonder if Mike Wright feels the same way.
Well, so far he's pitching like it, but if the pattern that you just mentioned happens now, this is the inning we jump on it.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
3rd time through the order. The average against him is .333. He's rapping. He's trying to pull everything. He's pulling. He's more successful when he keeps his hands inside of the baseball and he uses the other side of the field. Hitting the top of it and just pulling them foul. That was better. When you wrap a ball, that means you're wrapping around, you're casting, you're wrapping, your top hand is dominant. You're trying to roll over and pull everything, and the chances of you squaring a ball up are pretty slim.
Fouls it away again. Seven pitch at bats so far. Both pitchers have thrown a lot of strikes. Both pitchers have a history at times of losing the strike zone, but Wright has walked 1. Danny Duffy has walked none. Pokes it out into shallow right center field, but it hangs up, and Rickard was playing shallow. 1 away. Take a look at our Lee Summit Mazda game break. There are the dads taking batting practice at Camden Yards. There's Sal Butera.
Hey, nice swing there.
And you could tell that with some of the swings we saw today that sons learn baseball from dad. Might have been a while since they played the game and maybe didn't hit the ball like they used to, but there were some good looking swings today.
I was impressed, partly because they had a good batting practice pitcher in Dale Swain. Now look at this pretty swing right here. I'm glad we're showing it. Ryan, you had the nicest swing by far from anybody else. That left-handed stroke looked like it was in mid-season form. You've been taking some batting practice on the side, haven't you?
No.
Watch him go the opposite field. Oh, that one right there. That's state fair, by the way. That was a double, maybe a triple by the way you run. Look at that. That's control. Both hands on the bat. I'd like to telestrate that.
Well, Art Stewart saw me play in college. Here's Hud's swing.
Don't show that. I got no right leg. It collapsed.
Yeah, you blew a hammy on the first swing.
I felt the pop on that hammy. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, really? And you know what? I forgot, Ryan. After 15 swings, I was exhausted. I mean, it's totally different.
Ooh. I bet if Art Stewart pulled out his old scouting report of me in college, it would say that I was really tough on pitchers that threw 50 to 55 miles an hour. Because that's what I was hitting today.
It's a little easier when it's going like that. That's sweet. What about Goldberg? We got any Goldberg hacks?
3-2 on Whit Merrifield. Apparently, those swings were left on the cutting room floor.
That ain't right. I thought Joel had some good swings. Beautiful night here in Camden Yards. Time to put a run up there.
Merrifield takes a walk.
Let's go back to that left-handed swing of my partner Ryan Lefevre. Let's show you. All right, now check him out. Okay, look at it. Both hands on the bat. I like the follow through. Plus, I like the smile on his face. He's happy. And he's free. He's free and easy. He's enjoying him. Look at it. Good balance on his lower half. Look at the head position on that ball down the line. Man, oh, that's the one I want to telestrate right there. If we can slow motion that. Look at him. He's got a little pull pop.
Is my forehead really that big, or was that just a bad camera angle?
Well, look, you had the option to wear a helmet, and you refused.
It looked like I had a helmet on.
Can't beat fun at the old ball.
Really can't. That was a lot of fun. It was fun just talking to the dads and seeing the players interact with their dads, and wasn't expecting that we were going to be summoned to take batting practice. But a little bit of pressure. I mean, gosh. Dale Swaim throwing his batting practice. Ned Yost was behind the cage. Wade Davis was behind the cage.
Think about what it's like hitting in the home run derby when millions
the
of
whole
people,
world is watching.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that? And all the swings those guys took, you know, that's amazing. And if they're tired after that session, you know that's a lot of work. Merrifield, good lead. Get another half a step. There you go.
Hey guys, hey Ryan, how about the pressure for me? I mean, at least you guys were accomplished baseball players, and they forced me to get in there, and the first thing I hear is Wade Davis behind the cage, who's a pretty serious guy. Hey Joel, you ever played baseball before?
Did you take that as a compliment?
It just made me more nervous.
One ball, two strikes. Of course, the story came up several times when Hud took the field and it was taking batting practice where he once hit a ball in this ballpark. Now you need binoculars to see the area where one of his home runs landed against Jamie Moyer.
See if Locaine can hit there. Oh man, good pitch by Wright. Good four-seam fastball up out of the zone. Kane knew it was coming, but couldn't get a piece of it to stay alive.
So behind the left field foul pole, there's a sign that says air temp. And Hud, you hit one into the first right-hand batter in the history of this ballpark to go in the second deck, right?
Yeah, and it stood for like 10 or 15 years. I don't know the exact number, but I was surprised. I got on second base, or Ripken got on second base the next inning. And he said, hey, you just did something no one's done here. And I thought he was just messing with me.
Hosmer chops it out. And that's the second baseman Scope. So a one-out walk to Merrifield. And now the Royals are scoreless in 6 innings. The Orioles are scoreless in 5 innings against Danny Duffy. You don't say that very often in this ballpark. Danny Duffy, 7 strikeouts in 5 innings, no walks. Mike Wright has thrown 83 pitches in 6 innings. Both pitchers have allowed no runs on 3 hits. Now Danny Duffy begins his 3rd time to the order. He has been effective and efficient. He has gotten Adam Jones with a strikeout, and then Jones dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. His first sacrifice bunt in 5 years. That put runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, but then Duffy struck out the next 2 hitters.
But he does have 2 sacrifice flies.
Fastball, changeup, and it's 0-2 on Jones.
And that's really all he's needed. We've seen very few of his breaking pitches.
In the air to right field. Merrifield is out. Paulo Orlando comes in. 1 away.
Let's check out the new and improved Danny Duffy. Throwing strike after strike. Changeup working masterfully. Fastball down in the zone. Another changeup. 7 strikeouts in all. 3 of them looking. Fastball effectively up and in and on the corners. Oh, it's looking so good. What a changeup there it was. Best changeup of the night. Get him some runs. The Royals offense has now gone 17 scoreless innings. Time to change that.
Rickard has flied to center and struck out. Out to Merrifield. 2 down. So I mentioned effective and efficient, and that sums up how Danny Duffy has pitched this year. Last year, Danny averaged about 17 pitches per inning. That's a lot. Strikeout to walk ratio, not very good. That's pretty even. But this year, 14 pitches per inning, 11 pitches per inning tonight, by the way, and a 9.5 strikeouts per walk for Danny Duffy this year. No walks tonight.
Wow, look at that. Look at the strike to ball ratio. 39-13. That is special. Ooh. Home plate umpire Jim Reynolds took that no problem. Barely even flinched.
Took that like a man, didn't he?
Barely even flinched.
Danny has struck out Manny Machado twice. Good location. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orioles' best scoring opportunity was the 3rd. They had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Duffy struck out Rickard, and then Machado, which left Mark Trumbo on deck. Just inside.
Man, that's a good spot. Anywhere but out over the plate. I just was thinking, wouldn't it be great if Mr. Duffy could stand in there and face his son, just to see what that looked like? Didn't have to swing at it, just to see.
2-2. Well, you'd have to ask Mr. Duffy that question.
Yeah.
That's something he'd want to do.
Well, I know a lot of people out there that would like to until they got closer and closer to the dirt, and then once they got in the batter's box and they saw a pitch like that, it would be startling.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Well, Dan shared with Joel during Hy-Vee Royals Live that Danny used to go with his dad to softball games when Danny was a kid, and his mom Deanna played in men's leagues, and she used to catch Danny. Changeup and another strikeout. 8 strikeouts. Yeah, you better tip your cap, Mr. Duffy. 8 strikeouts in 6 scoreless innings. To have a scoreless game into the top of the 7th in this ballpark. Danny Duffy, smile on his face because he's pitching well. We're glad he's still in the game after getting hit by a line drive from Mark Trumbo in the 4th inning. And Mike Wright, whose ERA was just under 6 when the game started, has pitched 6 scoreless innings. He has given up 3 singles and 2 walks. It'll be Salvador Perez, Paulo Orlando, and Chesler Cuthbert in the 7th inning. Salvi's the DH tonight. Drew Butera's back at the plate. Salvi's flied to center and popped out to second base. Line foul at this brick side wall on the left field side.
A lot of right-handed batters off of right. They're really jumping out trying to pull it. There's the stretch lady. See her above Hoach right there? Look at her. She's getting her exercises in like Hoach.
The stretch lady?
Well, that's what, yeah, she comes to all the games. I've seen her lots of times here.
Now, does she try to jinx the visiting relievers or mock them, or just looking for ideas to get in shape?
I think Hoach knows she's up there imitating him, and he's going. Look at him. He's doing the crab right there. Yeah, and there's the bench buddies. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, good pitch.
4 strikeouts for Mike Wright. Our Lee Summit Mazda game break last September. Mike Moustakas had one of the best single games in Royals history.
Oh man, sure could use him.
9 runs driven in, a grand slam, and a 3-run home run. Man, that was a wild series. There was that game, and in that same series, the Royals had a 6-4 lead. The day before that game, the Royals had a 6-4 lead in the 8th inning, and the Orioles had a 10-run 8th. They had 2 grand slams in 1 inning. Ball was just flying out of here.
Wright's pitching like he wants another turn in the rotation, and with their shaky starting pitching, he might have just earned one after tonight's action.
Base hit left field for Paulo Orlando. Paulo has a 2-hit game.
Yeah, now that fastball is very hittable there. That's the one that's up, and he waited for it and was able to strike it twice. That's 2 base hits tonight, all on that same fastball right down the middle.
Paulo had a tough Cleveland series. He had just 1 hit in the entire series, and now 2 hits tonight. Get his bat going again, and now Cheslor Cuthbert flied out to right field and struck out. How about a hanger? When Cheslor batted in the 5th inning, Mike Wright went with back-to-back breaking balls for strikes, and Cheslor was looking for something else. He took both of them for strikes. We'll see if Mike Wright tries that again. Readers calls for a fastball. And that's a base hit into left field. So for the first time since the 1st inning, the Royals have 2 runners in the same inning. 2 on with 1 out.
It's all right. Now it's time to break that 17-inning scoreless drought by the Royals here. Let's go. We got to get it done here for Duffy. The way Duffy's been pitching, he could use another run or 2 at least.
91 pitches for Wright, and they're just starting to move around in the Orioles bullpen. Michael Gibbons will warm up first.
Gerard Dyson, .269 average with runners in scoring position. Looking for desperately looking for a hit.
Fouled away. Love to have that pitch again.
Oh man, that was right down the middle. He's trying to visualize that staying through the ball, using the middle of the field, and then he'll react in if he needs to, but that wasn't the swing he wanted.
Chopped out to short. They'll get the out at second base, and the throw drills Cheslor Cuthbert.
Oh no.
A run scores. The Royals take the lead, but Cheslor Cuthbert got drilled on a spike throw by the second baseman Scope.
Oh man, I don't know if I've ever seen that now. Ooh. And now we're in an era where there's really no contest to break up a double play anymore. You wonder where he got that. I thought he got it in the head. Looks like he got it on his right side somewhere.
So did I. First, from our angle up here, I'm with you. I thought it was off the side of his face or his helmet.
I think he was telling himself there's no way we're going to double up Dyson. Man, you couldn't even see it. Oh, hit his forearm.
Yeah, and the way that thing bounced, man, that didn't hit any meat at all. That is right off the bone. It's a fielder's choice. Error 4, by the way, allowing Orlando to score.
Scope.
Can we get a my bad? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, well, you wonder if he'll be able to stay in the game. Scope has his powerful throwing arm, by the way. Now he obviously was trying to stop his arm motion from throwing the ball because he knew he couldn't turn it on Dyson. So he mentally said, I got to hold it, and thankfully Cuthbert put his elbow up. Had he not, the ball could have hit him in the face. I would have missed it, but it's right off of his elbow.
So a painful way to get a run, but the Royals do get a run. So that 17-inning scoreless drought is history. And now let's see if Dyson tries to run on right with 2 down.
I've seen many a second baseman hit the runner with the ball back in the day when he was trying to take him out, but I never remember seeing one like that. He didn't want to throw it, but he couldn't stop it in time because he knew he had no business trying to turn that double play. It was a slow hit ball to Machado, and with Dyson's speed, there's no way you're going to double him up there.
And sometimes an infielder will receive a throw like that and fake a throw and look to third, hoping that the runner, rounded the bag. But yeah, with Dyson running, there was no chance for a double play.
Well, you hope he's all right.
Well, most stadiums have an X-ray machine right here in the ballpark. Popped up. Davis into foul ground, and that's the inning. The Royals get an unearned run, but a run nonetheless. Stretch time in Baltimore. The Royals lead the O's 1-0. Base, and with the injury to Cheslor Cuthbert, Whit Merrifield will shift over to third. As soon as we hear something about Cheslor, we will pass it along. And if you weren't with us, Cheslor Cuthbert sliding into second base took a throw from second baseman Jonathan Scope off of his right forearm. Danny Duffy, meanwhile, has pitched 6 scoreless innings. He has not faced more than 4 hitters in any inning. And in 4 of his 6 innings, he's faced only 3.
Look at that. 70th pitch coming in the 7th inning. Amazing turnaround for Danny Duffy. Boy, what a shot in the arm that is for Dave Island and Ed Yost to have a lefty like this performing.
No more than 14 pitches in any inning.
That's just fantastic.
Royals figured he'd be right around 90 pitches tonight, 90, maybe 95. So the way he's going, he could pitch 2 more innings. Trumbo, Davis, and Wieters. A lot of power coming up for the Orioles. Kane is back, and the game is tied. That's the major league leading 19th home run for Mark Trumbo.
And 5th home run given up by Danny Duffy, all to righties. Well, look, you know, Trumbo got a pitch inside, kept a short swing. You got to credit Trumbo for shortening up his swing and just letting Duffy's the power of the fastball provide the power. That was an easy swing by the slugger. Just caught it right.
Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Now Chris Davis, who was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning and then struck out in the 4th. Orioles hit a lot of home runs. That's 81, which is the 3rd most in the major leagues. 45 of those have been here. That's the most in the American League. Only the Cincinnati Reds have hit more home runs at home. Look out. Impressive. The bat lands on the grass.
I think that's as far as a ball I hit today in BP. He threw his bat that far. And there's one of the very few sliders we've seen from Duffy tonight. It fooled him big time. He's got a little pine tar on that bat. He might want to go ahead and go to it and get a better grip. Same pitch.
Still 1-2.
He went with the fastball. And that right there is down there where Davis loves it. He's a great low ball hitter. I'll try that breaking ball again.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. The strikeout for Davis against Duffy in the 4th inning was his 77th, which leads the league. Last year he struck out 208 times. No swing. Field and Colbreth is the 3rd base umpire, and crew chief.
Yeah, now there's that slider again. That was a good time. Just was down a little bit too low.
Brad Brock, who is the Orioles setup man, gets ready for the top of the 8th inning.
I'm going to stay away from him. Yeah, that slider was working on him. He's vulnerable because of Duffy's power fastball. And the way he looked badly at that 2-3 pitches ago with that slider, I'm glad he stayed with it. So this is the importance of a guy who's pitching this deep in the game, only using 2 pitches. Duffy, power fastball, great changeup, but he's reserved that slider for later, 3rd time through the order. That's the importance of saving that pitch instead of just throwing them all, saying, "Oh, I wonder how this one's going to work." But that's Drew Butera doing a great job of calling the game for Duffy. Changeup, perfectly thrown. It's incredible. I've never seen this kind of command. Now the last few starts have been really promising for Duffy. But to go this deep in the game with that type of command has been awesome.
And now Wieters cranks it into deep center field, and the Orioles take the lead.
Yeah, you could tell by the sound of that one that wasn't coming back. Straight over the middle of the plate. Finally got it.
Luke Hochevar is a Chevy call to the bullpen. Baltimore leads 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Royals baseball is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Jack in the Box. It's back, the Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. Well, the Royals are down 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Luke Hochevar comes on with 1 out and nobody on. I think the Royals, if you'd asked them before the game started, would you take 6 1/3 from Danny Duffy, allowing just 2 runs?
And no walks? Absolutely. What an outing. And you know, Danny's going to give up a couple of homers. I mean, solo home runs usually don't beat you. And hopefully that's the case tonight. You have to pick him up, man. Pick him up big time. 9 strikeouts. He looked great.
He has now gone 22 innings without allowing a walk. Hochevar slipped as he delivered that pitch.
Opponent's not doing much off of Hochevar, just giving up a 190 average. 26 strikeouts and 22 in the 3rd innings. Only 15 hits during that span. He's been good. One of the best.
Out to Merrifield. Long throw in the dirt and out of Hosmer's glove.
That's a long throw across the diamond, and Haas normally picks those. And Haas is shaking his head. Just sometimes it happens. Haas has some of the softest hands there are. Merrifield, he has to back up. You either go and catch that on the short hop or you wait back, and he did. And Haas just didn't seem like his glove was open wide enough. It's all right, 1 out here. They can see if he can get Scope to ground into a double play.
Scope is singled and struck out.
Scope is a lane ball candidate if I've ever seen one. 10 times so far this year he's grounded in double plays. Coach would like to induce one here big time. Big curveball, four-seam fastball, and a cutter are his pitches. Very effective with all of them.
Just outside, 1-1 on Scope. If you're wondering about the Orioles trying to run with Reimold at first base, the Orioles have 9 stolen bases this year. Not Reimold, the Orioles. Reimold has 1. 9 stolen bases as a team, and this is their 56th game.
Coach believes something's going on there. Usually when you have a powerful offense like that and a number of guys in your lineup with homers, I don't really want to take a chance of getting thrown out when you steal a base. That's one of the reasons why.
And again, Hochevar lost his footing delivering the pitch. Ball got out of the Orioles bullpen as Brad Brock continues to warm up. The Royals will have the top of the order in the top of the 8th inning. Royals had a 1-0 lead going into the bottom of the 7th. Mark Trumbo led off the inning with a home run. Danny Duffy came back and struck out Chris Davis, and then Matt Wieters hit a home run. 3-1 on Scope.
Showalter, he could put a little hit and run on here. This is a good running count. 3-1. You expect the hitter to get a good pitch to hit. Maybe he puts it in play.
Not running, and it's fouled away. Fans want to balk, but Scope asked for time, and it was granted by Jim Reynolds. But Hochevar's really trying to freeze Reimold over at first base.
Yeah, but you don't want Hoch to concern himself too much with that runner. The runner's not going to hurt him. This guy with the bat that's going to punch him out.
Now Reimold runs, and it's fouled away.
Good cutter. That's down off the plate. That's all he can do with it.
Running again, and that's ball 4. So that's a first walk given up by a Royals pitcher, and it comes with one out in the 7th inning.
Drew was all set to throw. That ball could have been called a strike.
So Hochevar allows an infield single and a walk to put 2 on for Paul Janisch. Talking about the Royals dads accompanying them on this trip. You can surprise your dad this Father's Day with a memory that will last forever. Give him a championship legacy brick. You can create a personalized message that includes the 2015 World Series logo. The brick will then be installed in the ground outside of the stadium gates at Kauffman Stadium, and a portion of the proceeds of the brick program go to support Royals charities. Royals.com/bricks. Ryan Flaherty is going to bat for Paul Janisch. Reimold's at second base. Scope is at first. And a breaking ball strike. Flaherty discusses that call with Jim Reynolds. Close enough. Flaherty's batting just .211 so far this year. 0-2. Little better, not much, as a pinch hitter.
He's 1 for 2 this year.
Cutter strikes him out on 3 pitches.
And he listened well to Dave Eiler. Pitching coach came out, had a little chat with him, saying, "Hey, look, we got to hold him right here. Where our offense is going to come back and score you some runs, or score definitely some runs, and get out of this."
And now Adam Jones, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt tonight. And against the Royals this year, Jones has just 2 singles. Royals really pitched him well in Kansas City. Slider is outside for ball 1. Now, good numbers against Hochevar, but you always have to ask the question when those numbers come up, and even for Wade Davis, were those numbers against Hochevar and Davis when they were starters or relievers? Ground ball, base hit up the right field line. Reimold scores, and Scope runs through a stop sign, and he's going to be out by a mile. Third base coach Bobby Dickerson was waving him home, and then at the last moment put his hands in the air, but Scope had put his head down. And the Royals get the final out at the plate. But the Baltimore Orioles, who are trailing 1-0 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, now lead 3-1. got an unearned run in the 7th inning to take the lead, and then Baltimore scored 3 in the 7th. Trumbo and Wieters homered. Here's Trumbo leading off the 7th inning. Duffy came back, got a strikeout against Chris Davis, and then Matt Wieters.
Yeah, and that fastball was right down the middle. Again, both home runs coming on easy swings. And they understand facing a guy that throws that hard. All you got to do is just put a nice easy swing on it and let the power of the pitch provide it. And that's what happened.
And Adam Jones had the RBI double. So Brad Brock is a Chevy call to the bullpen. A 0.91 ERA. And a slider for a strike to Alcides Escobar.
They go 90 to 95 with a sinking fastball. That slider and split finger.
Ryan Flaherty, who hit for starting third baseman Paul Janisch, stays in the game at third. Line foul. 1-2 on Escobar. He's had a tough trip. So he's going to bust out at some point. And now would be a good time. 0 for 3 tonight. And 2 out of 19 on the trip.
He's got Escobar set up for a slider. See if he throws it. Oh, stayed with the fastball. Away. Escobar protected.
Kelvin Herrera warms up for the bottom of the 8th inning. Two and 2. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Just foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brad Brock. He was a 42nd round pick of the San Diego Padres 8 years ago out of Monmouth University in New Jersey. Two years after that, he was the Padres minor league pitcher of the year. But then San Diego sent him to Baltimore for a minor league pitcher named Devin Jones. I have no idea what Devin Jones is doing, but we can tell you that Brad Brock in 24 games is 5-0 with an ERA under 1. Flaherty on the line. That's a foul ball.
And at 6'6", he's got a nice pitcher's body for that sinker. Another tall pitcher that can leverage, use that height and that sinker moving down. Sinker, slider, split finger. Haven't seen one of those. Escobar hanging tough.
Hanging in there.
Yep.
I think the Padres would like to have Brad Brock, Corey Kluber, Joe Ross back.
Oh, for sure.
Logan Forsythe.
Oh, yeah.
Strike to recall. Escobar doesn't like it. Took 10 pitches, but Brock strikes out Escobar to begin the 8th.
If it was a strike, that was a good location, but it didn't have to be. Looked like that was off the grid.
And now Whit Merrifield, who's been on base twice. Slider for a strike. If Merrifield is in the lineup tomorrow, we expect that he will be. He'll have a chance to tie a Royals record. Merrifield has reached safely in all 15 of his major league starts. Johnny Damon reached the big leagues in 1995, and he reached base in his first 16 starts. So Merrifield could tie that tomorrow. Devin Jones, by the way, Dave Holtzman looked it up. Devin Jones is no longer in baseball. That's the pitcher the Orioles traded to the Padres to get Brad Brock.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Two and two on Merrifield. Royals got an unearned run in the 7th inning to take a brief lead, and prior to that they had gone 17 consecutive innings without scoring a run. Just foul up the right field line.
Celebrate the 2015 World Series championship. Order your own piece from the Royals official fan collection, including rings, pendants, cufflinks, and more. Shop online at royals.com/fanrings.
You show Buck Showalter your World Series ring today?
Didn't get a chance to, but I will tomorrow. I showed the general manager.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Brock. 2 down in the 8th inning. And for Brock, that's 33 strikeouts in 30 innings.
Well, Brock, he really does have command with his sinker slider. We haven't seen a split finger yet. He's able to put those pitches where he wants them. That's why he's setting up. Prominent role in the back end of their bullpen. And we talked about at the beginning of the game how these are 1 and 2 bullpens in the league, the Royals and Orioles. It's going to be tough for the Royals.
That's up the right field line, foul by about a foot.
Too bad. That's a couple of swings on that opposite field. That's kind of how you want to shoot this guy, Brock. There they are. There's the 2 leaders, 2 bullpens. You can't look to pull this guy. Everything's, his sliders are away and his fastballs are away. Nasty.
It's said very often, you know, how many careers did the designated hitter save? Because all a guy had to do was hit. How many careers has today's bullpen configuration saved? How many careers has today's bullpens not just saved but created careers?
A lot.
You take a guy with a big arm who has 1 or 2 pitches and erratic and nondescript as a starter. How many of those guys have turned into frontline relievers? Brad Brock is one of them. He strikes out the top of the Royals order. Kelvin Herrera will come on for the bottom of the 8th inning. That guy's telling her all about 2014. 3-1 Baltimore, getting all 3 runs in the 7th inning. Panera takes us around the league. Angels and Yankees are tied in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 teams who are below 500. Detroit, my goodness, 9-0 over Toronto. The Tigers just got done sweeping the White Sox at home. Houston and Texas. Texas leads the division. 7-game lead over Houston. Houston's just 2 games under 500. They've gotten hot. And Cleveland will be at Seattle later tonight. Texas 6-0 against the Astros so far this year.
A few teams that are getting hot out there.
Houston at one point, they were what, 10, 11 games below 500, and now 28 and 30.
Yeah, you can't count them out.
Yeah, there's
a long way to go.
Too much talent on that team.
And too many games left.
Slider from Kelvin Herrera to Joey Rickard. Danny Duffy went 6 1/3. He gave up 2 runs. No runs until the 7th. Luke Hochevar pitched 2/3 of an inning and allowed 1 run. Now the Astros at one point were 11 games below 500. Have a chance tonight to get to 1 game below 500. 0-2 on Joey Rickard. He is 0 for 3 tonight. The Seattle Mariners cooled off lately. How about the Seattle Mariners leading the major leagues in home runs? Breaking ball that strikes out Rickard. Take that back. Tampa Bay leads the major league. Seattle is second. All those years when Seattle could just do nothing offensively, and now they're piling up the runs. Manny Machado is glad that Danny Duffy has taken a shower. Manny Machado was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Not that it gets any easier against Kelvin Herrera. That is a swing. Manny Gonzalez is the first base umpire.
Herrera throwing more sliders than he ever has before, and it's a very effective pitch. Keeps him off of his 98-mile-an-hour fastball and his 88-mile-an-hour changeup. 3 effective pitches.
Fair ball. A 3-home run game for the Baltimore Orioles. They have the most home runs at home this year in the major leagues. 47.
Looked to me like it was a slider, and if it was a slider, it's the first home run that's been hit off of that pitch that I've seen all year this year.
Fastball at 99 for a strike to Trumbo. Trumbo has one of the home runs. That was the first home run period allowed by Kelvin Herrera. Yep. So you're right. It was the first home run off of his slider.
So there's some 99 that's boring in on you. I'm sure Dave Island, if I talk to him about how many times he's using that slider now, that's a vulnerable pitch if you throw it enough. The word's going to get back to the teammates in the dugout.
2 down. Chris Davis comes up. And let's answer our sprint trivia question for tonight. What was the last team to have 3 different players lead a league in home runs in 3 straight seasons? Let's think of some big home run teams. The Yankees,
Toronto,
Baltimore,
Houston,
Colorado.
Houston had some big home run hitters.
Chris Davis also led the major leagues in 2013, but as far as 3 different players in the last 3 years, they're set up to do that. Trumbo hitting his major league leading 19th. Good news for Cheslor Cuthbert. Word is it's a right elbow contusion and not a broken bone.
That's good.
Boston Red Sox, another home run hitting team.
I bet we got 2 out of the 3, maybe all.
Well, it's just one team. The last
one
team to have 3 players, 3 different players in 3 straight years. Who are you going to go with? I'll let you pick for us.
It's a lot of pressure.
Let's narrow it down to 3. The Yankees.
I'm going to say the Orioles.
Okay, I'll let you pick for us as long as you don't say the Orioles.
Houston.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Well, we just got a clue. National League.
Thank you.
There you go. Colorado.
Got him.
Still 3 balls, 2 strikes on Davis. Well, 3 home runs against any team is a lot in one game. And yet the Royals pitchers, Duffy, Hochevar, Herrera, walked 1 walk and 1 hit batter. So they didn't allow many free bases tonight, setting up 2 3-run home run or worse. But the Royals scoring just 1 run in 8 innings. Baltimore has a big lead with the Royals coming up in the 9th inning. And now that's the 2nd walk. Herrera's first, and Matt Wieters, who homered to give the Orioles a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning, will bat with 2 down, and Davis at first base. We opened the broadcast tonight talking about when you're going to face the Orioles, especially here, you got to do your best to keep the ball in the ballpark. And then the second thing that you need to do is not give them free base runners. Dyson makes a play in foul territory. So they did well with .2, not a lot of free base runners. But the Orioles have hit 3 home runs, and now Zach Britton comes on in the 9th inning to face Hosmer, Perez, and Orlando.
got one more shot at him. Down 4-1. Folks, the Royals alumni batting practices back at Kauffman Stadium. Come join Royals alumni as you take batting practice on the field like pros. The cost is $300 and you'll receive a t-shirt and shorts along with an autographed baseball by the alumni who attend. You must be 25 years or older to participate. Dates are July 16th and 17th from 8 a.m. to 11. Call 816-504-4150 to sign up today. Sounds like fun. Let's see if the Royals can put some fun on Zach Britton here.
He's been perfect this year in save opportunities, 17 out of 17. Big bending breaking ball for a strike to Eric Hosmer. Brad Brock pitched the 8th and struck out the side. And now Britton.
Mid-90s fastball, that big breaker and a changeup.
Britton was into his pitching motion and Hosmer was into his hitting motion at the same time. You talk about winding up and taking a swing.
He was. He just swung over the top of it. Like it had a little bit of movement down.
On the ground to Scope. One away. Coming up after the game, it's Boulevard Royals Live with Joel. Hear from Royals manager Ned Yost. Danny Duffy gave up no runs on 3 singles in the first 6 innings and then gave up 2 home runs in the 7th. The Royals bullpen allowed 2 runs tonight. And Mike Wright with a 5.88 earned run average allowed 1 unearned run in 7 innings. Good news on Cheslor Cuthbert. A right elbow contusion. A freak play. Cuthbert singled in the 7th inning and on a ground ball to short and out at second, and then Jonathan Scope, as Hud put it, was probably trying to hang on to that throw, realizing there's no chance for double play, and he hit Cuthbert right on the elbow. 2 down in the 9th inning.
Thankfully, it's just a bruise, but that was the last thing Cuthbert was expecting.
Two down to Paulo Orlando, who has a 2-hit game. He scored the Royals run on that play, by the way, when Cuthbert was hit by the throw. And a strike from Britton at 96 miles an hour. Here's another guy, just like Brad Brock we were talking about. Zach Britton, whom the Orioles have been waiting on for years to develop as a starter. It just didn't happen. And now he's 1 out away from being 18 for 18 in save opportunities this year. Last year, Zach Britton had 36 saves. And the year before that, when the Orioles won 96 games, he had 37 saves. Little tap out in front of the plate. And the Orioles take game 1. So the Royals drop to 0-5 on this road trip. And they have been outscored 29-7.
Yeah, something's going to have to work. Start putting them hits together again and get the line moving, because they're not keeping it moving. They're just stalled right now. They're Royals getting a taste of their own medicine, facing a solid bullpen. Their setup man, closer.